Here we are. We're on the third portage of the Wanipigow River. That's what we had to portage around because there's some rapids that are just too shallow to run. And there's Rich carrying all the stuff. How's your piriformis?
It's performing okay. So I don't know if you can see this on film, but this mother duck's going bananas and her little ducklings are in front of her. You can't go around them. But we don't mean any harm. She doesn't know that.
Damn. It's 1 o'clock on Friday. We're stopping for lunch. Rich is making bison sausage. We've done about 13 kilometers so far. How's it tasting? Alright, it's about 6:30 on Friday. We're trying to push it to get to our campsite. And there's rocks there. So we're not able to go through. It's too shallow, our canoe's too long. It's not actually a portage, but we're portaging anyway.
So we gotta go this way, around, maybe 15 meters.
Around this, basically through mud and weed, just to get around the rocks. Here we go. All right, we're getting closer to our campsite. Damn.
Okay, we have taken the bypass.
First half of the bypass.
First half of the bypass, thank you. Meaning we can go around the Broadleaf River and onto the route that we want to get on. And this little lake here, or pond, is kind of in the way. So we're going to load the canoe up, cross, and portage again into the beginning or end of the Broadleaf. I guess the beginning, because it flows the other way. And then into Cairn Lake. And it's about 8:45 on Saturday morning.
Alright, it's Saturday afternoon, and this is what we have ahead of us. And this is what we've been doing for the last 2.5 hours. Nothing but a windy maze of shallow water. How am I standing, you ask? I'm on Beaver Dam number 7004, and it's time for us to pull over again.
Mentally exhausting.
Absolutely.
Physically, we're okay. Mentally, this feels like you're just in a maze. You're never going to get out of it.
Hopefully get out in time for some delicious scotch. The river has gotten much more narrow. We're worried that we might run out of water. I hope we don't, because that would be something else. So we're going to take our gear out and out of the canoe and try to kind of lug it over this narrow path. There's a little bit more water there, and hopefully the river opens up a little bit as we get further on. Otherwise, we don't really know what we're going to do. It's starting to rain. It's about 4 o'clock on Saturday, so we will figure out what we're gonna do. So this is basically the end of the river. It's not supposed to be. The river's supposed to continue on to another lake, which we're supposed to get to. But as you can see, we've been basically doing this for the last half hour of such narrow water and such shallow water that we can't even canoe it. We've been lining it, we've been pulling it, been walking on these weeds all the way down. There's about 3.5 kilometers still to go of this, which would take us hours and hours and hours. It's not even paddling anymore. So we're making the decision that we're going to turn around and head back to the last lake we were at, which is about 3 hours probably from here. But we'll get there probably about 7:30, which isn't too bad. There's some nice campsites there, and then we can set up. And then we know our route out, because it's the route we got in, and we got 2 days to do it, so it should actually not be that big of a deal. So it's the safe thing to do.
Yep.
And now we got to get working.
Just got to tell everyone that this route is pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure at one point it was, but more to this low.
There's no way.
You know,
Yeah.
that would be insane to try and.
Alright, lesson learned. Now let's start lugging her back. Well, it's Sunday morning, Father's Day. After the river that just ended, we made it back to this island in pretty good time. Time to set up, actually have the tent up, had a really nice camp, had dinner. And now we are just packing up, and we're going to hit the road or the water. Try to make some good time, make some good distance, so that we can get back to the cars in a good time tomorrow. What do you say, Rich?
Sounds like a pretty good plan.
The plan was to follow the Broadleaf River all the way to Obukwin Lake and loop back to Wallace Lake. Instead, we made it about halfway before having to turn back. They say a trip becomes an adventure when your plans drastically change. I would call this a successful adventure. Sure, we didn't finish the trip the way we wanted, but if it's true that life is about the journey and not the destination, looking back, this trip was one heck of a journey.